In the ever-evolving landscape of American politics, approval ratings serve as a critical barometer for gauging public perception of leadership. As President Donald Trump marks 2 months in office, recent polling data reveals a complex portrait of his administration's early days. According to a report from phillyburbs.com, Trump's approval ratings have generated significant discussion, reflecting both the challenges and the support he faces as he navigates the intricacies of governance. As of March 2025, reports indicate that Trump's approval rating hovers around 42%, a figure that encapsulates the polarized sentiments within the electorate. While some analysts suggest that this rating is a relatively stable start for a president, others argue that it signals potential trouble ahead. Presidents typically experience a honeymoon phase where their approval ratings are elevated, notes political analyst Sarah Thompson. For Trump, the fact that he is below 50% so early might indicate deeper issues that could affect his policy initiatives moving forward. The approval ratings also point to a significant division among demographic groups. Trump continues to enjoy robust support among his base, particularly among white voters and those without a college education. However, his approval drops markedly among Black, Latino, and Asian American communities. This demographic divide has profound implications, as it suggests that Trump's policies and rhetoric may be alienating key voter segments essential for broader electoral success. Moreover, the political and social climate surrounding Trump's presidency cannot be overlooked. The recent economic data shows a mixed picture, with unemployment rates remaining low but inflation continuing to pose challenges for many Americans. These economic factors are likely influencing public opinion. As citizens weigh their personal financial realities against the backdrop of national leadership, economic performance is often a major determinant of presidential approval, explained economist James Carter. If inflation continues to rise, it could erode whatever goodwill Trump has built among undecided voters. In light of these dynamics, Trump's administration faces both opportunities and pitfalls. While his supporters tout his administration's achievements in deregulation and economic policy, critics argue that his handling of social issues and international relations could undermine his overall standing. For instance, a recent opinion piece in the New York Times suggests that Trump's rhetoric surrounding critical social issues has the potential to deepen divisions within the country, further complicating his approval ratings. As the political landscape evolves, it remains to be seen how Trump's approval ratings will shift in response to both domestic policies and international events. Political observers are keenly watching as the administration approaches significant legislative battles and global challenges that could alter the trajectory of Trump's presidency. With midterm elections on the horizon, the stakes for both Trump and his opponents are high, making the next few months crucial in shaping the future of his administration. In conclusion, President Trump's early approval ratings reflect a nation grappling with polarized opinions and economic uncertainties. As he continues to implement his agenda, the question remains whether he can consolidate his support and broaden his appeal to a wider electorate. Future developments in both policy and public sentiment will undoubtedly play a pivotal role in determining the course of his presidency and the political landscape ahead. In a striking series of public statements, former President Donald Trump has once again thrust himself into the political spotlight, this time by demanding Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts' rein in what he perceives as judicial overreach by federal judges. Trump's call for intervention comes amid a backdrop of increasing polarization in the judiciary, which he claims is undermining the integrity of the legal system. During a recent rally, Trump passionately argued that the Supreme Court should take a more active role in overseeing lower courts. "We need judges who will uphold the Constitution rather than legislate from the bench," he declared, drawing cheers from his supporters. This sentiment echoes his long-standing criticism of what he views as activist judges who legislate rather than interpret the law, a theme he has consistently returned to since his presidency. Critics, however, have labeled Trump's demands as an example of his attempts to politicize the judiciary. "This is a dangerous path," remarked legal expert Mary O'Rourke. The independence of the judiciary is a cornerstone of our democracy. If the Supreme Court begins to micromanage lower courts, we will see a significant erosion of judicial independence. O'Rourke's concerns are echoed by many who worry that such interference could set a precedent where the judiciary becomes beholden to political whims rather than adhering to the rule of law. The timing of Trump's comments also coincides with ongoing debates about the balance of power among the branches of government. Legal analysts note that Trump's rhetoric may be aimed at solidifying his base ahead of potential future campaigns, as he continues to frame himself as a champion of constitutional conservatism. His demands for accountability among judges resonate with many voters who feel disenfranchised by perceived judicial overreach. As the political landscape evolves, the implications of Trump's assertions may reverberate through upcoming judicial appointments and confirmations. The stakes are particularly high as new cases related to election integrity and free speech are set to come before the Supreme Court, which could further define the boundaries of judicial authority and legislative intent. Looking ahead, it remains to be seen how Chief Justice Roberts will respond to Trump's challenge and whether the Supreme Court will take any steps to assert its authority over lower courts. The dialogue surrounding judicial accountability is likely to intensify, setting the stage for a contentious legal and political battleground in the months to come. As both sides of the aisle brace for the implications of these developments, one thing is clear: the intersection of politics and the judiciary will continue to be a defining issue in American governance. In recent developments surrounding the Trump administration, a series of events have unfolded that not only highlight the former president's ongoing influence but also illustrate the complex interplay of domestic and foreign policy under his leadership. As of March 23, 2025, the tech and political landscapes are brimming with significant updates that merit close examination. One notable advancement is the agreement reached between the United States and Venezuela allowing for the resumption of deportation flights to the South American nation. This deal, which has been characterized as a crucial step in addressing immigration issues, reflects Trump's administration's ongoing focus on border security and immigration reform. A spokesperson from the White House stated, "This agreement will help secure our borders and ensure that those who do not have the legal right to remain in the United States are returned to their home countries." The impact of this deal could reverberate through both nations as it aims to streamline immigration processes while alleviating some of the pressures faced by the U.S. immigration system. Simultaneously, Trump's administration is grappling with legal challenges that stem from allegations of secrecy and obstruction. A report from USA Today highlights the tension between the former president and the judicial system, detailing how Trump's approach has led to clashes with judges and court officials. Legal experts suggest that this ongoing battle could have far-reaching consequences for how future administrations interact with the judiciary. Secrecy has become a hallmark of Trump's strategy, but this could backfire if courts continue to push for transparency, noted constitutional law expert Dr. Sarah Jennings. This scenario underlines the delicate balance of power that defines American democracy. Moreover, recent polling data indicates that Trump's popularity remains a contentious topic among voters. As reported by CNN, a significant portion of the electorate still supports the former president despite ongoing controversies. Trump has a unique ability to galvanize his base, which poses both a challenge and an opportunity for his opponents, says political analyst John Carter. This persistent support complicates the political landscape as the country gears up for the next election cycle, with Trump's team eyeing strategies to maintain and expand their influence. In addition, discussions around technology and digital privacy continue to surface within the context of the administration's policies. As organizations like Google have begun to scrutinize their data practices, the implications of privacy regulations enacted during Trump's presidency are now coming into sharper focus. These regulations, which aim to balance user privacy with national security interests, remain a contentious issue as tech companies navigate compliance while attempting to innovate. Looking ahead, the convergence of immigration policy, judicial relations, and technology regulation under Trump's administration suggests a transformative period for American governance. As these dynamics evolve, stakeholders from various sectors will need to remain vigilant and adaptable. The coming months will likely reveal how these factors will influence not only the remainder of Trump's term but also the broader political landscape as the nation prepares for its next electoral chapter. In a landscape marked by economic uncertainty, former President Donald Trump's insistence that the markets and the economy remain robust is raising eyebrows among analysts and political observers alike. As indicators of economic health begin to falter, Trump's narrative draws parallels to the recent administration of President Joe Biden, who similarly maintained a positive outlook amid warning signs. This ongoing discourse not only reflects the political maneuvering typical in election cycles but also highlights the critical economic realities facing Americans as they navigate a changing economic landscape. Recent reports indicate a worrying trend in economic indicators which have begun to weaken. Trump, however, continues to assert that the economy is thriving, a message he has consistently communicated throughout his political career. The markets are strong and we are seeing unprecedented growth, Trump proclaimed during a recent rally emphasizing his administration's achievements. Yet this assertion contrasts sharply with various economic metrics that suggest a downturn may be imminent. Experts warn that such unwavering optimism can cloud judgment, potentially leading to miscalculations about the state of the economy. For instance, stock market volatility, rising inflation, and shifting consumer spending patterns have all signaled potential trouble ahead. As Trump softens his economic messaging, it appears he may be seeking to align himself with a more cautious narrative reflecting an awareness of these economic shifts. It's no longer about just touting growth. It's about addressing the real concerns of Americans, commented one economic analyst. The implications of this rhetoric extend beyond mere political posturing. Small business owners, a crucial segment of the economy, are increasingly voicing their concerns. The South Carolina Small Business Chamber recently articulated that Trump's optimistic portrayal of the economy poses a threat to small businesses struggling to cope with rising costs and stagnant sales. We need leaders who are in touch with the realities of running a business, not just those who paint a rosy picture, stated a representative from the chamber, underscoring the disconnect between political narratives and the daily challenges faced by entrepreneurs. As the 2025 election approaches, both Trump and Biden face the challenge of reconciling their economic messaging with the realities on the ground. The former president's decision to pivot towards a more tempered economic outlook may be a strategic move to resonate with voters who are increasingly concerned about inflation and job security. Meanwhile, Biden's administration continues to grapple with the fallout from its own economic decisions, navigating public sentiment in a climate of heightened scrutiny. Looking forward, the intersection of politics and economics will likely become even more pronounced. As both parties prepare for what promises to be a contentious election cycle, the narratives they construct around economic health will play a pivotal role in shaping voter perceptions. For now, the challenge remains: can leaders balance optimism with realism in a time of uncertainty? And will they be able to effectively address the economic anxieties of the American public? The coming months will be crucial in determining how these dynamics unfold as both Trump and Biden work to solidify their positions in an ever-evolving economic landscape. In a world where geopolitical tensions are on the rise, the small yet strategically significant island of Greenland has become a focal point of international attention. Recently, former U.S. President Donald Trump's provocative comments about the territory have reignited debates surrounding its defense and sovereignty, prompting Denmark to bolster its military presence in the region. This development reflects broader concerns about Arctic security and the implications of great power competition in a rapidly changing global landscape. Greenland, while an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark, has found itself at the crossroads of U.S. and Chinese interests as both nations vie for influence in the Arctic. Trump's past attempts to purchase the territory were met with widespread criticism, yet his recent remarks have underscored a continuing U.S. interest in Greenland. We need to ensure that Greenland remains a part of the Western alliance, Trump stated during a recent interview, emphasizing the importance of maintaining a U.S. presence in the region to counter potential threats. In response to these geopolitical pressures, Denmark has announced plans to enhance its military capabilities on the island. This includes increasing troop deployments and investing in infrastructure to support a more robust defense posture. Danish Defense Minister Jacob Ellemann-Jensen remarked, "Greenland is hard to defend. But we must make our presence felt to deter any hostile actions." This declaration reflects a growing recognition that the Arctic is not only a region of strategic significance but also one that requires vigilant defense mechanisms amid rising tensions. The push to strengthen Greenland's defenses is also informed by the broader context of U.S.-China relations, particularly as China has expanded its activities in the Arctic. The Chinese government has been increasingly vocal about its ambitions in the region, including shipping routes and resource extraction, raising alarms in Washington and Copenhagen. Analysts have pointed out that the Arctic's melting ice due to climate change is opening up new maritime routes and access to untapped natural resources, making it a potential flashpoint for conflict. Moreover, Trump's comments have resonated with military families, many of whom are directly affected by shifts in U.S. defense policy. The implications of federal government cuts, particularly in defense spending, have left many families feeling uncertain about their future. As one military spouse put it, "We depend on a strong military presence to ensure our safety and livelihoods. Any cuts could have serious repercussions." This sentiment highlights the delicate balance that policymakers must strike between fiscal responsibility and national security. As Greenland grapples with these multifaceted challenges, the future of its defense strategy remains uncertain. The integration of military capabilities must be balanced with the territory's unique social and environmental needs. The Danish government faces the intricate task of enhancing its defense without infringing on the rights and interests of Greenland's indigenous population. Looking ahead, the situation in Greenland is likely to evolve as global powers increasingly engage in Arctic affairs. The interplay between military readiness, diplomatic relations, and environmental considerations will shape the island's future. As both the U.S. and Denmark take steps to fortify their positions in the Arctic, it remains to be seen how this will impact the delicate balance of power in one of the world's most vulnerable yet crucial regions. The upcoming years will be pivotal in determining whether Greenland can navigate these tumultuous waters while safeguarding its sovereignty and security. In the evolving landscape of international relations, the dynamics of diplomacy often hinge on personal relationships and the subtleties of communication among world leaders. Recent reports have surfaced detailing former President Donald Trump's insistence on receiving gratitude from foreign leaders, including Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, which raises questions about the motivations and implications of such interactions. This revelation comes amidst a notably tense geopolitical climate, with Trump's transactional foreign policy facing significant challenges. Trump's administration was characterized by a unique diplomatic approach, often perceived as transactional, where relationships with foreign leaders were sometimes contingent on public displays of appreciation or support. According to sources, Trump's insistence on receiving thanks has not waned even as he continues to exert influence in political circles following his presidency. This pattern of demanding acknowledgement from leaders like Zelensky reflects a broader strategy where personal rapport is leveraged to achieve political objectives. As tensions remain high in Eastern Europe, especially with the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, the implications of such diplomatic demands are profound. For Zelensky, navigating his relationship with Trump, who has been a vocal supporter of Ukrainian sovereignty while also exhibiting a penchant for personal validation, presents a complex balancing act. The pressure to publicly express gratitude could complicate Ukraine's diplomatic strategies, especially in light of its critical need for continued support from the United States. In addition, Trump's former envoy to Iran recently emphasized the necessity of diplomacy in preventing Tehran from developing nuclear capabilities, underscoring the multi-layered nature of international negotiations. The envoy's comments highlight the challenges facing U.S. foreign policy as it attempts to reconcile contradictory demands from various global players while also addressing critical security concerns. The current state of diplomatic affairs is further complicated by the interplay between Trump's legacy and the ongoing war in Ukraine. Reports suggest that as Trump engages in discussions with figures like Russian President Vladimir Putin, the stakes are increasingly high for all parties involved. Concerns are mounting in Ukraine, where there is a palpable sense of uncertainty regarding the future of international alliances and the potential for truces that may prioritize political expedience over genuine peace. As this complex web of personal and political dynamics unfolds, observers are left to ponder the long-term effects of Trump's approach to diplomacy. The insistence on mutual acknowledgement from foreign leaders could hinder more collaborative and effective international relations, potentially stymieing progress on critical global issues. Looking ahead, the trajectory of U.S. foreign policy and its implications for global stability remain uncertain. As Trump continues to exert influence both domestically and internationally, the need for a nuanced understanding of how personal relationships impact diplomacy has never been greater. The unfolding developments will likely shape the contours of international relations for years to come, making it imperative for leaders to navigate these intricate dynamics with care.